Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit more about some Linux distros. Um, not all Linux versions are the same. Don't be fooled by people telling you that every Linux out there, all they did was change the desktop. That's not true. Each one is unique. If you have a really old computer, they have Linux versions that will work on older systems. This is elementary OS. It does have a live function, so you can check it. As you can see, when you click on try, it reboots your system. Now this is running from a USB, and here's my hard drive that I pulled out of my laptop. Like I said, each version of Linux is it's not the same. They are different. They look different. They act different. A lot of different programs run differently. Now I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi card on. Wi-Fi available. And it says use network menu to connect to Wi-Fi. Okay. Now, right here, if you click on top, you can go ahead and just close this. Next to your sound, as you can tell, that this does already have sound drivers installed. Here's your network menu on this version. Now it's going to ask for your Wi-Fi password. Connect. And like I said, just different versions of Linux ask differently. You can see the Wi-Fi. Hopefully you can see that it's on. Now in this version, a lot of this stuff comes on the bottom, such as install, app center, system settings, photos, videos, music, calendar, empathy, I believe that's web browser, multitasking view. Up here at the top is applications. You click that and it opens this. This already has gparted installed. Screenshot for saving images of your screen. Has take photos with the camera if you have a camera installed. This has that place for music, videos, Now, I'm already online, so let's check the App Center here. Alright, as you can tell, you can go like to games, and it says failed to fetch updates. Alright, this has to do with corrupted repositories or not updated. If I installed this, I can hit ignore, which is fine, because like I said, I'm running this off of USB, which means that none of this is actually going to install. If this wasn't actually installed on the hard drive, a lot of this stuff would work. Internet. This is just showing me stuff that's installed, basically. Some stuff isn't. Some stuff is. This shows terminal system settings. And like I said, this does not come with a lot. It's a real nice desktop, but it really doesn't come with hardly anything. You can go online with it, sure, but as far as games and other programs, this really does not have hardly anything on here. And like I said, you'd have to go to the App Center, where you can add things. This is more or less a YouTube. Yeah, we want to ignore the updates because, well, I'm not updating anything at this time. So, like I said, a lot of people enjoy this operating system, and this is elementary OS. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn my Wi-Fi off, and I'm going to shut this down. And shut down. Okay, I'll be back shortly well, just in a couple minutes here with some different versions to show you. Alright, we're back with another version of Linux. This is Linux Lite. When you first set it up, like I say, all of these are running off a thumb drive, flash drive. Now, this will pop up, show this dialog at startup. I'm going to uncheck that, close. Now, as you can see, it has a lot of stuff like Linux Lite, removable, not mounted. It does have Wi-Fi network connections. And it should be, I believe, down here. Sure is. This is an easy to use version of Linux. Connect. Now, this is more or less a different type of Linux. See, it's now connected. This also has the menu on the bottom, which on most Linux versions I prefer the menu on the bottom. Open this up. Now you can see you have install updates, manual, recently used, my computer settings, Bluetooth adapters, Bluetooth manager, display, file manager, firewall configuration. It has all kinds of stuff. As you can tell, this does not really have a lot installed. Absolutely no games whatsoever are installed on this. You have an archive manager, but there's really nothing that you can really install off of thumb drive. Now, if you need to use it, that's fine. It also has PDF viewer and things like that. Multimedia has VLC. So it's a nice little smooth running operating system. Okay, here's add, install. Well, it's install, remove software. Of course, get updates. And let's see. This has a way to get drivers. Now, here's what I hate about this type of Linux. It comes with a sympathetic package manager or a synaptic, whatever. This is how it shows up. I mean, you actually have to pick and choose what you want to install on here. Some things actually work with this and some don't. So sometimes download or while you're trying to install something can actually crash the system. So I really hate this type of package manager. And like I said, I mean, there's no games, no nothing on this version. But it's a nice version, a nice lightweight version. Comes with Wi-Fi support. So, control panels here. As you can tell, everything's set up nice and neat. Alright. And I'm going to shut this one down and show you, I believe, one more version. I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi off. Go to menu, log out, and then shut down. Alright, I'll be right back with the last one. Alright, this is Fedora Games Live. This also has start and test this media. So let's go for start. So I'm going to return this to main menu. Let's go to start. Fedora is another version of Linux that, like I say, each version of Linux is unique. If you can use one, that doesn't mean you can use them all. Like I said, Arch Linux is extremely hard to set up. It's hard to use. You have to have a password or set up a password when installing, and it's for more advanced users. Most of the ones I'm showing you are for, like I said, beginners. Very few of these you actually have to have any real Linux knowledge to set this up and use these. So I will be right back. Well, actually, it went ahead and just loaded just fine. As you can see, it loads up pretty quickly. This is the live user system. It looks nice. Has stuff right here on the desktop. But once again, it may not be for everyone. No network connection, even though my Wi-Fi card is on. So we click on here, and you can see the Wi-Fi does show up. And here's the 4.4 gig volume. I believe that's the flash drive, removable drive. Alright, I just put in my Wi-Fi password. There's the Wi-Fi. Now, once again, I really prefer all the stuff, the bar, to be on the bottom. This does have some things on the bottom. Minimize all windows. Show this desktop. Terminal. Terminal is how you install certain software and programs. If you don't have a software manager installed, this has file manager, web browser, application finder, and home live user. Let's go up here to applications, right here at the top. Now, as you can see, this does have quite a few games. I mean, compared to the Ubuntu Game Pack, this has a massive, massive amount of games. I mean, look at this. This is just a huge amount of games. And this is pre-installed. Now let's see. It also has terminal editor here, web browser, settings, and a lot of your settings are really easy to set up. Administration. This has an updater, accessories, development, documentation, education. Tux Paint is installed. Graphics. Internet has Firefox. Multimedia, Pearl Media Player. Office. It does have a lot of things installed for Office. And System has Gparted. It also has installed the hard drive here. I really don't use this Linux a whole lot. I'm not real familiar with it as far as all the settings. So, but for the amount of games that's on here, it has a huge amount of games already pre-installed. Now let's go here to the updater and see what that does. Like I said, I really don't use this version. It does pick up Wi-Fi. As you could tell, my Wi-Fi card is actually running, so it does go online. But like any other version of Linux, always check to make sure it picks up your hardware before you just install it. Now, I'm not sure what this Anaconda is because, it's removable media. Okay, file system. And let's see if I can get some of this stuff to actually run from USB. See, network connections, notifications, preferred applications. Let's see, web browser, Firefox, and you can, I guess, download others. Mail reader, utilities, file manager, terminal, and let's close this. And like I say, I'm not real familiar with this system as far as Linux because I I do use Linux Mint, and almost any of these games, if not all these games, pretty much can be installed through Mint or on Mint. Some can and some can't. Like I say, Linux distros, a lot of them are different, a lot of them are set up different, and a lot of them are just hard to use. This is at XFCE. Here's Fedora release notes. It's a nice looking operating system, and like I said, right now it's going online. This has the most current release notes of Fedora, of course Firefox. It's going to load, but like I say, if you want to try this one out, it's a nice operating system. It does have a lot of stuff installed. Me personally, I do prefer the bar with all this stuff on the bottom, and not on top. But this does have a firewall. Let's see. Block games, action games. I mean, this is a huge amount of games installed on here. And Crossfire, I'm not sure. Arcade games. So they do have a huge amount of games. I'm not sure exactly how you add software to Fedora. Like I said, I really don't use Fedora, but they do have a massive amount of games. And let's see if I can just find one that, this game actually is on Mint. Let's see if it'll start. Yep. And let's see, English. And like I say, I really don't play these games on here, except, alright, this has to be loaded to your computer. Okay, and play game. Local game. And this is like the light cycles and stuff like that. So anyway, it had a crash, probably because I'm trying to run this off live. If I would have installed this, or I changed the settings on desktop, it would probably run okay. Probably because I didn't actually set anything up. Let's try this again. System, display settings, preferences. Okay. Let's load default and see what that does. I guess defaults are loaded. Okay, there we go. I'm not really used to playing these. I don't really play this. I'm just showing you some of the stuff that's on here. Let's see, let's try this. And like I say, I mean, this is just right off of the flash drive. None of this is installed. So, once you install it, it should work a lot better. Some of these may or may not need a controller. Okay, let's see. Press any key, and of course, it's going to shut down because, like I said, it's not installed. So it can't really access the hardware. There we go. Oh, I'm not sure how to play this. But anyway, as you can tell, it'll play. It just keeps rebooting because of I believe because it's running off a live CD. Quit and die. Okay, there we go. Anyway, you're more than welcome to try any of these out. Log out and shut down. So once again, before you install any Linux distro onto your hard drive, make sure it works with all your hardware. Now, you're probably wondering how I actually get my flash drives to format. Well, I purchased 5 of these little 8 gig transformer ravage flash drives at one time. I bought 5 of them off eBay for $20. I leave one completely blank because I do have Windows. Alright, and let's shut that down. There we go, and trace. Alright, let me throw my hard drive back in here. And I'm going to show you, if you want to try Linux, I'm going to use my girlfriend's computer here. If you want to try Linux, I'd advise you get a bunch of these, or all the same type of drives. Same type, same size. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to get these drives formatted and clean. Alright, I have a little cable here. I really apologize for the quality of this video. Alright, this one here I leave blank, and make sure they're the same type, same size. Okay, and of course that didn't go in. Give me a second, I'll hook this up and I will show you. Alright, there's that one. Where it says open to view folders, there should be absolutely nothing here. There isn't. Now, I have this little cable that'll hook up another one, USB cable. Here we go. Now, it plugs in up underneath my blank. Now, I use Mini Tool Partition Wizard. This is the free version. Alright. Mini Tool Partition Wizard free. It's Partition Wizard 10. Now, here's the easiest way to take care of this. Alright. That was an Anaconda. What I showed you, it shows up as Anaconda. I'm not sure why. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to delete, apply, yes. This will update partition, delete partition. Now you'll see the whole partition is unallocated. You want to leave that just that away. That's what you want to do. Now we're going to copy partition. Alright, the wizard comes up. Hit next. Now you're going to pick, mine is E drive. You can see FAT32 primary. It is allocated under FAT32. The one we just deleted, the partition, is unallocated. So we're going to pick right there. Next. And then I'm going to go down to the one that's unallocated. You want to make sure it's unallocated. Hit next. Copy the partition with resize. That's fine. You can see your first one, disk 3, which is the top one, my blank. Disk 4 is the one I plugged in down here. And it says unallocated. Always make sure the one that's unallocated is what you're copying to. Size and location. Alright, hit finish, and then go up here and hit apply, and it'll say recommend closing all applications. Hit yes. Now there's something else you need to know about Linux if you're installing it on Windows. If you use Etcher and some other programs, Windows is going to try to format your disk about a quarter of the way. maybe less than a quarter of the way through it creating the flash, if Windows pops up while you're creating your Linux USB and asks to format, click cancel immediately, because you don't want Windows to format what you're just try to format what you're putting on there. Now this I can actually format with Windows once this is done, and I will show you a couple things with this program that I personally don't like. I'm sure there's a way I could change it, but I install and uninstall this program constantly. So let this run, and as soon as this is done, I'll come back. Okay, took a few minutes. Applying all pending changes successful. Hit OK. Now I'm going to exit this. This program will actually let you format this partition, but I'm not going to. I'm going to exit. Then I'm going to unplug it and then replug it in. Now, when you go to your computer, you're going to see a removable disk here. Don't even worry about that. Let's get that to pick up. I didn't plug that in all the way. Sometimes it won't pick up. If it doesn't pick up through Windows, reopen your Partition Manager, and then you can format it that way. Windows generally will pick that up. Now you saw the extra drive there. Let's hit Format. Now here's where I leave it blank partition label. Okay. Now I'm going to hit this for FAT32. Okay. And hit Apply, and this will format. Then Windows will actually format this. A lot of times it'll ask for partition letters, partition labels. A lot of times you have to install that. Sometimes you don't when you do a direct copy from a partition. And you can tell it's formatting. It does a quick format, pretty quick. Alright, when this is done, I will be back. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do before I go ahead and shut this down, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the drive letter. Right here. See how it says none? I'm going to give it a drive letter. I'm going to give it M. Windows generally will not pick something up without a drive letter. And then hit Apply. And you change your drive letter over here on this side. Hit Yes. And then that'll run through. Now you can always give the drive letter before you format it, and that way Windows will pick it up pretty quick. The new drive letter is M, so now that it has a drive letter, Windows should access it. Earlier versions of Windows, I found out they actually work a little bit better at picking some stuff up. Alright, now when this gets done, I'll unplug this, plug it back in, and we'll see if Windows picks it up. This is the easiest way I've found, though, to actually format a flash drive with Linux on it using Windows. Windows does not see any version of Linux. If you install Linux on a flash drive, Windows will only see the amount of disk space left on your flash drive. It will not pick up the space that Linux is on. Okay. Now exit. Now we're going to go to my computer, and it's right there. Now you'll see right here it has removable F. Don't worry about that because we're going to uninstall that program anyway. I never leave that program installed because it does add these little removable things. Now you should be able to format this. Restore device, defaults, start. Now Windows should be able to format it because it found a drive letter. And I have this under quick format. I apologize about the length of this video. If you do not have 2 disks, you can erase Linux using the program I used. Alright, format is complete. It's just a little more confusing. And then let's unplug it. Okay. Now let's unplug this one here, E. Now you see F is still there. So these 2 drives right here are formatted. Let's plug in the last one. Alright, as you can see, F is still there, now their E is here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open Mini Tool Partition Wizard. This is the free version. Now this is a little bit harder to do if you don't have an empty flash drive. Now right here, other would be the Linux. We need to delete that. Alright, it's deleted. Now we need to create. Now here we're going to have a drive letter. We're going to change this. Let's make it Q. Hit OK. And then apply. Sometimes this will work. Sometimes this will not work this way. But if you only have one flash drive, be very careful, because a lot of programs that you use to create a USB flash drive with Linux will make your flash drives read-only. Then you'll have to go through your command prompt, take off the read-only settings, and then try to fix it from there. If that happens, it is a pain in the rear, and sometimes it will and sometimes it won't work. But this is a good little program. For a free program, Mini Tool Partition Wizard free, I'm using 10.2.3. And like I say, I will not leave this on. This is my girlfriend's computer. Since I have been showing, different versions of Linux using my laptop, I'm gonna, to be quicker, I'm gonna use her computer to do the formatting. Okay. And I'm gonna exit. I probably should have formatted that there, but I'm gonna unplug it. Now I'm gonna plug it back in. And if it doesn't pick up and format, then I will have to go back and format it. Like I said, sometimes Windows will pick it up, sometimes it won't pick it up. And it appears like it's not going to want to pick it up. So we go back here, restart it. And this program seems to always find the drives even when, well, Windows doesn't. So we click on it down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it has a drive letter. Change drive letter. Let's give it a H. Apply. Because sometimes even when you add drive letter, it just doesn't add it. So now it has a brand new drive letter. And what I'm going to do is, once this is finished, I'm going to exit this program, take the flash drive out, put it back in, and see if Windows can pick it up with the new drive letter. Sometimes that's all it really takes. You delete your partitions, you create your partitions, then you give it a drive letter for Windows to actually pick this up. And sometimes you actually have to format it with this program. So it all depends on Windows. Windows can be really touchy sometimes about certain things. Alright, I'll let this finish, and I'll come right back. Okay, alright, we're back. Alright, hit OK. Now we're going to exit. Close that down, go to Control Panel, and right there, You can see I added that drive letter. Windows picked it up. Now we're going to see if Windows will format this. This is a FAT32 default. Restore device defaults. Click Format. Start. OK. If you only have one flash drive, that's the way you have to do it. You have to use the program, delete your partitions, create your partitions, basically restart the program, give it a drive letter. Even if it shows a drive letter, change that drive letter so Windows will actually see it, and then Windows should actually pick it up after that. There we go. Format complete. Like I said, there are two programs I use when installing Linux to my flash drives. And that is Etcher, which is ETCHER, and once they're on there, I can run live, and you can check different versions of Linux. And Mini Tool Partition Wizard. Now, anytime you use Mini Tool Partition Wizard, a lot of times it'll put this removable thing here. There's absolutely nothing here. If you try to shut this down, open it, remove it, anything, it's going to give you an error. That's because it's like a virtual setup for the program. And the only way to really get rid of that, I found, is to actually uninstall the program. Which, I mean, it's really no big deal. Because, you know, once you have it, uninstall, yes, you can always reinstall it. Okay. And when I reboot, this will be gone. It will not be there because that program's no longer here. But to get it to be removed, you actually have to reboot. Alright, I'll be back as soon as this is rebooted. Okay, here we are rebooted. It just loaded up. Everything's loading. The antivirus is loading. Everything's loading. So I'm going to go to Start, Computer. As you can see, that USB is gone. Like I said, I mean, it will just keep lining them up. The only way I've found to get rid of them is to remove the program and then reboot. And then if you need it, just reinstall the program. It's fine. And just take it off when you don't need it. Okay. That is how you format and get your drive back. If you have Linux on it and you can't figure out how to format it, and Windows will not format a Linux anything. Now, Linux will format things with Windows, Microsoft stuff, Windows. Most versions of Linux have gparted, which is a partition editor. It's a little bit harder to use than the one I just showed you, and that is a partition editor. So I hope this helps you out. If you, like I said, some of the easiest things to do is just have more than one flash drive. If you only have one, then use the steps I showed you to recover your drive if you want to try another version of Linux, or put something else on your drive. Alright, that's it. If you want me to try a different version of Linux, or you ran across something you would like to see, please let me know in the comments. Or if you've tried a version of Linux that you would like to share with people, please leave them in the comments. And once again, I apologize for the lousy video quality. I do have a review on this little cheap Walmart digital camera thing. Paid $20 for it, plus another like 20 bucks, 18, 20 bucks for the little SD card that fits up in it. This thing just really stinks. So if you want to check that video out, feel free. And like I said, if you use Linux, especially Linux for a beginner, most of my videos are for people that would like to try Linux, that do not have a lot of skill when it comes to Linux, or they wish to switch over from Windows. Please leave your version of Linux you're using in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get a hold of it and put a video on showing people exactly what it can do. Alright, I thank all of you. Everybody have a good day.